Hi guys, oh my goodness, Brexiteers are having a bit of a meltdown at the moment. Two things seem to have upset them dearly. First, we had the former leader of the Remain campaign, David Cameron, meet with the Vice President of the European Commission, officially to discuss NATO, but they had time to talk about building a better relationship with the European Union, which poses some interesting questions about how committed Rishi Sunak still is as a Brexiteer. Then we had the President of the Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, talk about a path Britain could take to be back in the EU. She said that Brexit was in peril and that a new generation will have to fix where European and British leaders had goofed up. Former Brexit Party MEP Ben Habib was interviewed by another former Brexit Party MEP about von der Leyen's comments.
Ben, they think it's funny. They think they can mock us, and the way to solve all of our problems is simply to rejoin and wipe out Brexit. What's your take?
Well, I mean, what you've seen from von der Leyen, I think that clip was yesterday, wasn't it? What you've seen from her is what we've seen repeatedly from the European Union, that notwithstanding the fact that they say they respect democracy, they respect the rule of law, they respect the democratic will of the people, actually every time they get a result they don't like, they keep going back again and again and again until it's reversed.
Now, what he's referring to here, of course, is the Lisbon Treaty. And when it came to Ireland many years ago, the Irish people voted against the Lisbon Treaty. So it was put to a referendum in Ireland and the people voted against it. What happened? It went back to the Commission, back to the European Union. They renegotiated it in a sense. They made modifications. They put it to the Irish people again, and then the Irish people backed it. Now, why is this a problem? Brexiteers would present this as the European Union forcing through its opinion. No, it was put to the Irish people, they rejected it, changes were made, it was put to them again, and then they backed it. Very simple, very democratic.
And Article 50, just to cast viewers' minds back to the dim and distant days of 2016 and 2017, Article 50 of the treaties of the European Union, the Article 50 is set out in order for a country to legitimately exercise its constitutional right to leave the EU. And yet, the European Union has done nothing other than frustrate our legitimate right to leave.
How? How did they frustrate Britain's legitimate right to leave? How did they? If Britain left, then it didn't frustrate the right. It didn't succeed in stopping Britain from leaving. This makes no sense whatsoever. But then we're talking about Ben Habib. Ben Habib, who voted for the withdrawal agreement and then is now complaining about the withdrawal agreement. Anyway, the bigger question here, is it possible for the UK to rejoin the European Union? Yes, but rejoin is probably not the right term we should use. In Europe, they don't talk about rejoining, they talk about joining. So does Britain meet the criteria? Yes, it probably does at the moment. But the Conservatives and Brexiteers in particular want to thwart Britain's chances of rejoining or joining the European Union. They're putting as many obstacles in the way of a future generation voting to join the European Union. They want to diverge as much as possible on EU standards to make it more difficult to join. This is the main problem here. The criteria are probably met, but there will be, of course, requirements, and one of those requirements is, and it's going to be brought up time and time again, about the euro. The UK will be required officially to join the euro, but it will not actually be necessary for the UK to join the euro, to implement the euro currency. Because we've seen a number of countries around Europe don't do that. Technically, yes, you have to. And I think this is going to be difficult to sell to the public. Now, when is this going to happen? Well, first of all, we need a Labour government in charge. I think it's necessary also a change in the electoral system. Proportional representation needs to be brought in. Because the problem with all of this is that a Labour government could start the process of joining the European Union, and then a Tory government could come in and say, okay, we're stopping this. It's a waste of money. The people in 2016 voted to leave. That was our democratic right and all this sort of rubbish. So you don't want that. You want a pro-European party in power all the time if you want the UK to rejoin or join, whatever the term we want to use is. So even if the Brexit party or the Reform UK party or whoever is in Parliament, you still want to have a government that wants to join, be it Conservative or be it Labour. But I'm thinking we're not going to see this in the next Parliament. We may see something like this form in the Parliament after that. Because at the moment, PR and rejoining the European Union are not part of the Labour Party manifesto. So when they are, then we're starting to see a real process of rejoining or joining, whatever term you prefer to use. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.